You see, I was a hurricane. We supposedly bleed green and orange, but my blood always remained red. Yeah, I understand the University of Miami is a big-time football school, but I was a big-time nerd. Did the undecided to triple major thing, did the hang out, have conversations with my professors thing, did the campus activism raising awareness thing, but I never went to a football game until my senior year. I decided I'm graduating soon. I have to go to at least one game. People are totally gonna be like, so you went to UMiami, huh? And you never went to a football game? For the sake of my future, I had to go to at least one. If only for the experience, if only for the story. More important, students got in free with student ID. So I told my very school-spirited Muslim girlfriends the next day as the school was passing out these green and orange La Fuerza t-shirts, hey, can I come along with you guys? I hear this game is supposed to be big. It was the 2004 UMiami Florida State game, the biggest game of the year. I mean, I suspected it was a big deal. It wasn't like hurricanes had a trail of cars follow each other in a tailgating party down US Route 1 every game. Or hurricanes brought a car painted in the enemy's colors to the middle of campus and smashed it with a sledgehammer in ritual pride every game. Anyways, I was excited. The night before, I went through my entire closet trying to find something to wear. Something green, something orange. I imagined myself as the perfect mascot in my orange headscarf, orange face veil, and long green dress. It would have been amazing. Just my luck, I had every color headscarf and dress, blues, purples, pinks, but I didn't have any orange, so I settled for all green. I figured I'll stand next to someone wearing more orange. Anyways, the next day I met up with Zainab and Manal. Zainab was a Shia Iraqi-American Republican football fanatic who never missed a game every year during her entire undergrad career. Somehow, in the rush of students getting on the school buses that would take us to the stadium, we lost her. We tried to use her green headscarf, orange La Fuerza shirt, and green cargo pants to guide us, but she completely blended into the sea of hurricanes. Manal was also wearing a La Fuerza shirt. She was taller than me, had a long black ponytail, and was experienced in the ways of getting to the stadium. So I made sure not to lose her. Anyways, when we finally got to the stadium, I took a pause to take everything in. Amazing. Look at all these people. Wait, why are there buses of students in maroon and gold? There were buses and buses of FSU students coming in for the game. Now, that's serious commitment, because who takes a 10-hour drive for a game? Anyways, as I kept following Manal, I made sure to watch my step. I have never seen so many drunken college students in my life, and frankly, I didn't want to get any vomit on my shoes. As we pushed and shoved our way through the crowd, we looked up and were surprised to see Zainab. She managed to find herself a seat in between a group of hurricanes, and she began her ritual of cheers with them. Blow, blow, hurricanes, blow. Blow, blow, hurricanes, blow. Push that ball right down the field, 7-point shooter, yell, blow, blow, hurricanes, blow. The crowd was massive. We kept looking for seats, and then we see seats placed in between the hurricanes and the Seminoles. They were pretty empty, kind of mixed with fans for both sides. And as we headed towards the seats, the Seminoles began their traditional chant. Oh, oh. And at that point, the hurricanes began their traditional chant. F you, Seminoles, Seminoles, F you. As we kept heading towards the bleachers with empty seats, I thought, what an interesting cultural phenomenon. We walked by, and I kept squeezing through, and I paused again to take everything in and to ignore the smoke that I hoped was from cigarettes and not weed, when all of a sudden, a really big fan who was shirtless and completely drunk spotted me and started going, yeah, woo! He was cheering me on because clearly we were on the same team. So I grabbed onto Manal a little bit tighter, and we kept walking, and my fan kept going, "Go green, go orange." Other than massive amounts of Budweiser, cheerleaders gyrating, secondhand smoking, and fans howling, the first half of the game wasn't fun. We were losing, and it was halftime, and the sun was clearly setting. So I looked at Manal and said, "Hey, it's Maghrib time. We should find somewhere to pray." And she said, "Yeah, let's go somewhere to pray." So we left the bleachers in search of a place to pray. We stopped directly behind the stands, but it was dark and wet, and we weren't sure whether the wetness was from beer, puke, or water. So we kept walking. And as we walk ahead, I see a row of cop cars, and I think, that might be the safest place. So I looked at Manal and said, "Hey, why don't we pray over there?" And Manal looked at me and said, "Are you nuts? Look at us and look at them." I looked. Right next to the cop cars were bunches of Seminoles fans who didn't get into the game. And at that point, for once, it wasn't our usual fear of Islamophobic hatred that stopped us. We were more fearful of anti-hurricane bigotry. So we kept walking. And Manal suggested we find some place indoors like a health clinic, because there's got to be one of those. So as we keep walking, I see a trailer, and I think, why don't we ask if we can pray in there? And then I stopped to think about how I was dressed. I had on a green face veil to match my green scarf and long green dress. Manal clearly had on the more traditional football fan wear. So I said, "Hey, Manal, when we go inside, you do the talking. They'll take you more seriously." So we go inside at the trailer, and our eyes fall on two men sitting in front of all these buttons and switches and panels, and they got earphones around their neck. And one of the guys turns around, and he's like, "Can I help you?" And so I push Manal forward, and she's like, "You see, we need to pray." And the guy looked again at his friend, and they're both confused, and he's like, "You need to use the bathroom?" And then Manal and I look at each other confused, and she's like, "No. You see, we're Muslim, and we need to pray." And the guys look at each other again, and he's like, "You need to use the bathroom?" "No, but we can pray right next to the bathroom." And he's like, "Yeah, just hurry up." So we go in the hall, and we begin praying. When I was in sajda, and as I'm bent over, the guy pokes his head on. He's like, "Are you okay?" Although I was ostensibly praying, I thought, "Oh my God, I have to finish this quick." I'm not sure what prayers I said. I don't even know how we finished. But as soon as we finished the third rakat, we got up and we thanked the guy. And he's like, "Yeah, sure, you do what you gotta do. You usually get students in here who need to puke." So as we're heading out, we see a security guard. Maybe she was on break when we came in. Anyways, when she spots us, she's livid. Before we could walk past, she stops and she's like, "Excuse me, how did you get in here? Other than people with a pass, no one is allowed in." And I pushed Manal forward and gave her the "you do the talking, she'll take you more seriously" look. And Manal was like, "I got this. You see, we're Muslim, and we needed to pray." And before the guard could respond, I grabbed Manal and we ran fast, like straight out of the stadium. We decided to get on the buses that would take us back to school before the game ended, but the game didn't end right away. After halftime, U of N scored, and the game was tied and went into overtime, and University of Miami won. And Manal and I completely missed the victory. But, I don't think they could have done it without our prayers. In the ABC Sports News trailer,